Most people think a sudden global blackout of oil would trigger immediate, explosive chaos. But what if it didn't? What if it happened slowly, almost unnoticed, until the effects begin to build? At first, the absence feels almost peaceful. The smog lifts over major cities, people pull out bicycles, walk down empty highways, and communities treat the quiet streets like an extended holiday. People keep to their routines. They go to the local market, chat with neighbors, and assume the supply chains will reboot shortly. This is normalcy bias in action. As the first few weeks blur into a month, that quiet illusion starts to fade. The shortage begins to seep into the mechanics of daily life. The first month hides a specific vulnerability. Our survival remains tethered to the pumps, even as the public continues to treat the situation as a temporary pause. By the second month, the diesel cargo ships and freight trains that stock regional grocery stores stop moving. As time passes, people begin adjusting. They turn to local farms and nearby markets. But this sudden pivot places an impossible weight on regional food supplies. This breakdown of a standard grocery cart shows the foundation of the modern diet. A huge percentage of these goods rely on petrochemicals for their plastic packaging and transport stability. Without these invisible barriers, food spoils. As transport crawls and preservation fails, the price for remaining basic necessities quietly doubles and then triples. Eventually, larger systems react. Governments begin to ration grid electricity to conserve the remaining reserves at oil-fired power plants. These frantic attempts to adapt end up exposing the scale of the problem. Leaning harder on local resources only drains them faster. Up to this point, most communities have weathered the strain together. But this is where the experience begins to split. Those with land and physical resources drift into a very different reality than urban renters trapped inside failing city grids. Critical and visible systems fracture. Modern medicine depends on sterile plastic and synthetic coatings, materials that suddenly become scarce. As the months drag on and the air turns cold, the stakes shift. Entire regions now face the absence of heating oil. Modern careers are abandoned. Entire days are consumed by the physical effort of chopping wood, securing warmth, and finding enough calories to keep going. The active anxiety of the early days is gone. In its place settles a heavy, quiet, and pervasive exhaustion. The collapse of modern life is marked by a single realization. Basic survival has become a full-time job. By the time the snow melts, there is a collective exhale. Spring brings temporary warmth and the rise of community gardens, suggesting a return to a simpler, manageable time. This comparison of agricultural yields shows a stark deficit. As the VO says, fertilizers and pesticides, the massive shape shrinks dramatically. As the planting season begins, the total absence of petroleum-based fertilizers and pesticides makes a full harvest impossible. The math is unforgiving. Without synthetic enhancement, the upcoming harvest will mathematically fall short of feeding the current population. Surviving the winter reveals the physical limits of the land. Without oil, the earth cannot produce enough calories to support the people currently living on it. As the one-year mark approaches, the psychological rewiring of daily life is nearly complete. The globalized mindset has dissolved into an isolated, hyper-local existence. There is no sudden fix. Instead, the year ends with a quiet acceptance of a permanently contracted world. Items that were once mass-produced are now examined with reverence. This lighter has become an irreplaceable relic of a vanished era. When the fuel disappears, our entire definition of value is rewritten.